Welcome back to the second episode of our adventure. My name is George and I will be replacing the other guy. Since the warrior died, the paladin had no choice but to go back to the beginning and find himself a new warrior. The locals said that a new warrior could be found nearby to the north. It did not take long before a suitable match was found. In order to try and recruit this new warrior, the paladin followed him closely and made sure nothing bad would happen to him. The warrior, who was totally oblivious to his surroundings, continued to farm in peace. The warrior felt more and more invincible and started to fight more and more enemies at once. Soon, this warrior also got famous among the people of Goldshire. Once the warrior reached the princess, there was no hesitation before charging into combat. In the end, the paladin tried to get noticed, but the warrior failed to notice his presence and continued the journey. Back in Goldshire, the warrior boasted about the success of killing Princess. Horrified of the realization that the warrior didn't even know he existed, the paladin had to log out. Only moments later, the paladin realized the mistake. What if the warrior died in his absence? The paladin quickly logged back in and started looking for his warrior. The innkeeper said there had been talks of killing the kobolds in the northern mine. It did not take long before they were reunited. After exploring the kobold mine with no interesting encounters, the warrior suddenly noticed the paladin. You can't imagine the sheer surprise when a party invite appeared. The warrior then spoke about the increasing threat to the west. The paladin, who still has nightmares from the western part of the forest, and did not want to lose another friend to the evils lurking over there. But the warrior was convinced that Hogger, the gnoll leader, had to die. Knowing that there was no way to change the warrior's mind, the paladin did the most glorious thing and crossed the bridge into the western part of the forest, all in order to keep his newfound friend alive. But the paladin never forgot to keep an eye out for the real danger. Together, the two heroes fought back the gnolls one camp at a time. By the way, did you know the reason why the other George got fired? I am not really allowed to talk about it, but you won't tell anyone, right? He came to work one day high on cocaine, talking about a pay raise and shit. Next thing you know, he was out. The continued slaughter of gnolls lasted for a long time before their leader, Hogger, arrived to check what was up. Wow, that was close. But yeah, as I said, Hogger showed up, and the two heroes found two fellow adventurers that also came there to hunt Hogger. What a coincidence. Captain Akagami and the fierce Darkover said they would aid in the fight against Hogger. Captain Akagami was far too cool to join the actual party, though. The group of four did quick work out of Hogger, who stood no chance. The fierce warrior even called out victory before the fight was over. With Hogger, the leader of the gnolls, dead, the remaining gnolls would be an easy match. At least that is what they thought. Then this happened. The gnolls were angry, really angry, and they wanted revenge. Our heroes immediately realized that they were outmanned and needed to retreat. But the gnolls already got taste for their blood. They did not want to give up the chase. They just kept coming. The warrior, who had never lost a fight, then decided to make a stand. But in the heat of combat, the warrior just couldn't hit the enemy, instead just walking around in sheer panic. When all hope was lost, the warrior turned to the bottle, still not able to attack the enemy. Then at last, the warrior had enough and took a swing against the angry gnolls. This is where the paladin resources were completely drained.